Hey everyone, welcome to episode 11 of my podcast, Is Breakfast Included? Now today on the podcast, I sit down with the one, the only, the very lovely and talented Erin Stevenson. Now Erin and I did some time on the road together with a band that we all may have heard of. We'll talk about that a little bit. She'll also talk about her booming solo career and what it was like to win a People's Choice Award for Indie Soul Artist and what that did for her career. We cover a lot of things in this interview, including breakfast. So let's get to it. Tell everybody who you are.
Well, I am Erin Stevenson, a singer-songwriter from Houston, Texas, born and raised in Houston, Texas. I now live in California, but I will always be a Southern country, ghetto, classy, intelligent, I don't know, pick up all of the above girl from the South. But a background singer to, should we say, to the stars for pretty much all of your favorite singers. I consider that my leap of faith. And for the likes of, I've gotten so much better at this part. This used to be really hard for me just to name names. But of course, Duran Duran, yeah. Janet and Justin Timberlake, John Legend, bunch of J's. Jennifer Lopez, Pharrell Williams. I mean, I've even sang for Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Camila Cabello, the newer generation, Charlie Puth. I mean, I've had a really, really blessed career as a background singer. You know, still while doing that, doing my own thing too, because that was always my original dream, should I say, to be my own artist. And so far, that's been really going great these past 2 years, should I say? Two and a half years. But so far, so good. Still wait for that big break.
Come on. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into that in a second. But I want to ask you about something real quick. We're gonna tell everybody. Tell me about Girls Time.
Bernie, you've been doing your homework. Okay. Okay, friend. Okay. So Girls Time, yes, it is absolutely true. I was a member of Girls Time, which was Destiny's Child. Again, back to the Houston, Texas thing. I mean, at that time, it was built up. It was like a one-stop shop performance situation, meaning the dancers are already there and the singers. So if you got Girls Time, you got a built-in show. I was, of course, one of the singers, and I stayed all the way up. Oh my God, I stayed for a good while with a contract in my hand. And I told my mom that I didn't want to do it anymore.
Wow.
Yep, with a contract in my hand.
Wow.
As a little girl, yep.
And you were in Girls Time at 10 years old, right?
Yes, sir. 10 years old. And I told my mom I didn't, not because I didn't want to sing. I actually wanted to do more. That's the reason why. I have to make sure I clarify that. I wanted to write. I wanted to, even at the age of 10, because I started writing songs early. I was always creating something, God, as far back as I can remember. But I wanted to write. I wanted to dance. I wanted to create routines because I was always creating dance routines. I mean, shoot, put it this way. When I auditioned for Janet Jackson decades later, I already knew all the dance moves because I, done them all. VH1, MTV, somebody, okay. But nonetheless, I just wanted to do so much. I have just always been a creative person. And even at that age, I knew that. And in that particular situation, I wasn't going to have the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
And I knew it, even at 10 years old.
Oh, right on. So after that, after that, you kept pursuing your singing career, correct?
I did.
So were you just doing your solo thing? Were you involved in any other acts, or was it just...
No. So what happened was, after I left that, because I was only 10, of course, I, went to school, middle school by this time, and doing my normal cheerleading in the band, all that kind of stuff. I dibbled and dabbled in a couple of singing groups throughout high school, but it wasn't until after college that I started singing in live bands. After I graduated from college, that's when I started singing in live bands. I actually sold water once I graduated, sparklets water, because I wanted to work for a marketing company. And a friend of mine from college, her name's Myra, she hit me up and was like, would you like to sing in this band that I was singing with? I was like, yeah. And then from then on out, I started singing with live bands around the city of Houston. And of course, I eventually branched off to do my own thing. But even during that time, I would write and record. Even throughout high school, write and record. Even in those groups and stuff that I would be in,
Mm-hmm.
none of them just popped off. But I definitely learned a lot, and I can honestly say that I attribute my knowledge of recording and how to record, because people don't understand that singing live and recording are two totally different beasts. It's not the same technique. It's not the same skill set. Just like people think because you're a good singer that you can be a background singer. Not true. It's two totally different skill sets.
Yeah.
So I could definitely attribute me being a good background singer to those groups that I dibbled and dabbled in, to my knowing how to record myself and such, to just always being a part of the creative process when I was recording songs and stuff, even from a teenager, even back to a kid, Destiny's Child. One thing I'll definitely say I took from Destiny's Child, well, Girls' Time at the time, was work ethic, because we worked our butts off even at that young age. Why do you think Beyonce and some of those are what they are? I mean, that was kind of instilled in all of us who were a part of that situation from that age.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after I graduated from college, I ended up doing some live music stuff, and people who would come to the city would ask me to sing backgrounds for them or to open for them, because I was just performing everywhere that I could, just trying to be heard, man.
Trying to get your name out there.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on. So, that happens. You go working for Sparklets, send some spark. At what point do you start working for NASA, Erin?
Whoa, okay. So NASA happens because, as I mentioned, I went to college. Yeah, I got a degree, and I tried to drop. This is really cool to say though, because I tried to drop out of college. I really, really did, but I come from an educational type family. My father is a teacher, that kind of stuff. So they weren't having it. I finished, and it came in handy. So after years of touring and traveling and working, I was like, I'm sure you can understand this, Bernie, because life, inconsistent pay. When it's great, it's amazing. Then you go home, and you're like, when's my next check coming?
Yeah, feast or famine.
Yes, sir. So I was like, well, Erin, let's get a little bit stability. Use your degree since you got it. And I did. I ended up going to go work for NASA. And I worked there for about 3-4 years, and until the monotony of it all just kind of, I mean, when you're meant to do something, there's no amount of money, there's no amount of good people, because I love the people that I worked with at NASA. Yeah. I'm really a nerd. I'm like a rock star nerd. So I enjoyed working for NASA, but there's nothing that equates to purpose and what you're really supposed to be doing in life.
Yeah.
And that's all I can, the monotony and me not doing what I was supposed to be doing.
So when I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, it finally came to an end at about 4 years, because I just couldn't take it anymore.
And so when you left NASA, you went on to go on tour with an artist. I don't know. Some people may have heard of her, but can you tell everybody who you went to tour with?
Yeah, with Janet Jackson. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think some people know about her.
I think so.
Just a couple.
I think so.
But I had already worked for her prior to working for NASA. She was one of the tours that I had done, but she had decided to go live her life and work on the album and other stuff like that. And I worked for a couple of other artists too. However, when I was at home during this NASA period, I still would sing at local clubs and local bars, or if someone came in town. But me going, and I entered this phase of songwriting too, where I was just doing songwriting for this platinum producer. I'll let him be nameless, but doing a lot of in-house songwriting for him. But so I wasn't doing anything outside of the city of Houston. So literally the day that I woke up and told my boss to fire me, I kid you not, like clockwork, I get home and I get a call that says, so are you ready to go back on the road? Mind you, this is after 3 or 4 years. And on this day that I say fire me like a crazy person, the phone rings. And it's like, so, and I'm like, yeah, I don't got no job. I got it. So let's go. And I haven't looked back ever since.
Well, it seemed to work out for you. Like you said, you went on to you've toured with Justin Timberlake, Pharrell,
Mm-hmm.
Nicki
Yeah.
Minaj, J Lo. I'm gonna call her J
Yeah.
Lo. I'm gonna call her J Lo.
Yeah, that's the cool name. Halo. You know, when you got a nickname, that means you've done something with yourself. No?
And then where you and I met, Duran Duran.
Yay! And I'm
And
grateful for it.
yeah, so how did you land that gig?
A friend of mine recommended me. Apparently, her name's Marcy Chapa. She played percussion for Duran Duran years ago. And I don't know how long the stint was, according to Marcy. It wasn't long at all, but she played with Duran Duran. And someone called her randomly and said, hey, do you know a girl that, and because she didn't expect the phone call, but they called her, and I don't know who called, but they called her to say, do you know a girl that you could recommend who would sing for Duran Duran? And she told me the only person that she could think of was me, and I'm so glad she did. So, and that was it. And right after that, I ended up going to. Now I should say this: I'm going to give Marcy some props right now, and possibly why they called her is because Marcy is pretty badass. Like, she's a rock star chick on percussions and on the congas and all that stuff like that. So they probably was like, she's badass. Let's see if she knows a badass singer. So I'm happy she thought of me.
She's not going to refer any hack, right?
Right. So that's kudos to Marcy and praising her for her talents too. So I ended up taking the call. The phone rang. I was like, yeah. So I went to JT's house. And JT and Simon are there. And JT's so cool. He's just like, hey, come on in. I'm like, okay. Well, sure. Let's go. And Simon, so I sung for Simon. JT totally goes outside and hangs out with Gila, and they're hanging out, having a good time. And I ended up singing for Simon, and I ended up singing. He asked me if I knew any of their songs. Of course I did. I mean, I think you're crazy if you don't. But he specifically wanted to hear Last Night in the City. And we just started having a good time. And he's like, no, I need you to sing, which was refreshing to me because, here in the States a lot, they're afraid of big voices sometimes. They just want you to whisper or stay in the pocket, just stay there. And Simon's like, no, if you're going to sing, I need you to sing. I'm like, yes. So I'm belting it out in their house. And so by the end, I fell in love with him immediately. I should say that too. Him and JT immediately.
Yeah. And how could you not, right?
Yeah, how could you not? But so cool, so laid back. And that was from day one. So then he asked if I could come to, because they had a show in LA. And he was like, are you able to come to the show? But this is what he told me. He said, we have some other girls to look at, but if you could come to the show, can you come to the show? I'm like, yeah. So I kind of knew, but I didn't know, but I knew. So I went to the show, and I'm just enjoying myself, totally not even paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing or watching the girls. I'm enjoying the show like a regular fan. But it was, I needed to see it because I knew that it was going to be something that I would absolutely enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. If I was having that much fun out there, I was going to have even more fun on that stage.
Yeah.
So just a great situation. And here's the other thing, too, I'll tell you. It was fun, too, because I walked backstage before they start the show. Mind you, the only time that I met Simon was at JT's house when I had to sing for him. So he comes up to me. He's like, Erin, hi. I went to your website. I don't like any of your pictures. I'm like, okay. And then he proceeds to say, with that smile, you need to smile every single time. And he was like, I don't want to see no more photos with you in this pouty face. That smile lights up rooms. However, I loved it. I appreciated it. And he's been honest with me like that ever since. And it's one of the most endearing things about him. Just his honesty, his realness, his level of care, should I say.
Oh, yeah.
But I fell in love with all of them. Just a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my initial Duran Duran experience. I don't like none of your pictures. No.
Well,
it was cool.
Once you came into the Duran Duran organization, should I say, like, I remember everyone just lit up. Everyone was talking about the energy you brought to the show. And you were talking earlier about you've been making your own dance moves. from gig to gig, from JT to Pharrell to Janet Jackson, do you ever take anything, a little bit out of any gig and bring it to the next gig?
You have to. I mean, you're always a student until you become a master, which I hope I never become, because that's when you stop learning. That's when you stop growing. But you always do. Always, always, always take a little bit of, and some of those things that I've learned is even some of the wisdom, even if it's not a skill set, it's just wisdom of something that one of them have said, even like Simon, him telling me that changed the game for me. Because, on a personal note, there was a time where, as an artist, and I'm sure there are going to be lots of artists who are aspiring, whatever anyone's aspiring to do in life, doesn't even have to be musically. People are always going to have this idea or this vision for you of what you should be or how you should perform or what you need to look like or what's going to sell. I'm going to take it out of music. What's going to sell for this company? How you need to present yourself. You know what? The best thing that anybody can present in any situation is themselves, period. It always wins and it always sells. And I know for me as an artist, there was a time where people had these ideas. Erin, don't smile. You look too happy. Or you need to be more sexy. Or you need to be more this. And I am such a happy, all over the place, smiley, huggy, natural person that to hear him say that to me and for him to be who he is, and I respect who he is, it meant the world to me. So yeah, I take something from every situation that I go through. Every artist that I've worked for, and sometimes even if it's something for me not to do. Let's talk about that. Some things that I've also, let's not talk about it. But there are some things I've also taken of what not to do. But yeah, either way, it's some wisdom.
Well, it's always a pleasure watching you perform, and I hear you in my ears too. You're in my ears, so I get to hear you sing every night too.
Oh no!
That's a good thing, girl.
I blocked that part out because I'm extremely bold and yet I'm extremely shy.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really shy when it comes to me. Hence why it had why it took me about 4 takes to say who I am.
Yeah.
For that part.
I'm gonna leave that in. I'm gonna leave that in. Oh. So I'm gonna say we, because we met on Duran Duran. We are touring for a while. We went all over together.
Yeah.
In 2017, you put out Naked, your solo album.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you had a top 10 hit in the UK with that album, right?
I did. I absolutely did. I wish I was able to maximize it more, but it was my first shot out the gate. I can't complain. I can't complain at all.
In 2020, you released Never Too Much, which is a Luther Vandross cover, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And you won a People's Choice Indie Award in this, was it the Soul Artist?
Yep, the Indie Soul Award.
How'd that feel?
Great, because that's the first award I won as a solo artist, and you start, like I just said, I've literally started, I've done this for a while, I've put out some stuff here and there throughout the years, but not to where I invested money into it and time and all the, it's a lot more than saying, I recorded a song, let's put it out. And of course, times have changed. I've had a Billboard song hit the dance charts in 2000 something, early, mid to late 2000, somewhere back there. But it's not the same. This was my first album. This was my first baby that I feel like I actually birthed and put money into and some sweat equity into and prayed on, like, please let it work. Do the music, all the music videos and such, all the above. And for the first one, Naked album, to produce a top 10 hit in the UK, which I've never, even with the song that hit the Billboard dance charts, that was kind of like something that just happened. But with this one, I had high hopes. I was paying attention. I was alert and aware for everything. And when that happened, it was the song Hangin', which is one of my favorite songs. I was like, I got to keep going. And And now with the Never Too Much, it's doing well. And I won the Indie Soul Award. Like, I don't know if people realize how much work really goes, especially as an independent artist, when you don't have this massive team or machine or even a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people realize how much work and time and dedication goes into this. And for me, my team is literally now, thank God, it's about 6 people. 6 people, and that includes me. And that's it. And they're all 6 people who just want me to make it. And to me, that's everything.
Yeah.
So I'm involved in every single aspect of it. I record myself. I write my own songs. I engineer my own sessions.
Yeah.
Conceptualize my music videos, and that's not, so I'm still involved in everything. I have, like I said, I do have a team that I'm thankful for now who help me with all these ideas and bring all my visions to life. But it's still not the same as having this massive building in Beverly Hills where at the touch of a button, you got 300 people working for you to make magic happen.
But it's a different feeling when you got 6 people who want you to make it as opposed to 300 people who need you to make it.
Yeah. And for those 6 people who want me to make it, I will work my butt off for it. I'll give it all that I got.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Man, this last year, how did you handle that? Not being able to perform or get out or tour or, even pick up a backup singer gig, like how did that affect you? I'm pretty sure I know how it affected you financially, the way it affected all of us.
Right.
But, as far as that, did you get creative? Did you start recording? Did you write anything? Any projects that you worked on that you had been putting on the shelf that you could finally get to?
Yeah, for me, that was the last time that this was ever going to happen to me. Remember, I told you, even before I started working for NASA, about how Janet, had already worked for her and several other people.
Mm-hmm.
But, let's go get a job for the stability thing. So this has happened to me before. But this is going to be the last time that it happened to me. And I'm actually thankful for this pandemic because it was actually just the kick in the butt that I needed. And that's for me as an artist, because I've been telling people lately that 95% versus 100%, that 5% makes all the difference. And for me, that's what I needed. I've told myself that I was not going to find myself in a position anymore to where someone else dictated my paycheck. And this is just from, like I said, this is from an artist's perspective, because I know I'm supposed to be doing more. I knew I was supposed to be doing more. And I just kept putting it off. I would like I said, putting out a song here or there. Consistency is key. And I needed to go hard. So if I wasn't touring, my music at least could still be making money for me.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, just putting my art out there, my heart, it's bigger than money for me, because you understand that it's bigger than money for me. It's and if it I'm sorry, I've been watching my words. And once it breaks, God, Lord, somebody better stop me. But so the pandemic lit a fire under my butt, literally. I have hence the Never Too Much. I have another single that came out after that one called You Gotta Be. I put that one out in February of this year. And I anticipate to have my entire album, because I changed the direction of the album that I was going to do. I had a whole album ready to go. Because like I said, I wasn't playing no more games. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. So I had a whole album ready to go. But since the cover songs were doing so well, we had to change the trajectory of what this album was going to be. And because it was going to be called Cover Girl. Mm-hmm. And it was going to be myself doing remakes, but how I would do them artistically and musically. How would Erin do them? And that was going to be the whole EP and the whole album. But I had to go back after everything started to make us noise and winning Indie Soul Artist Awards and stuff like that, and making some moves on some charts. And we were like, we have to take advantage of this momentum and put out some original songs. So I'm literally sitting in my studio right now, about to finish recording the last 2 songs that need to go on there. Goes to mixing and mastering, and prayerfully by early June, you will have a new album from Erin Stevenson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it.
You mentioned You Gotta Be, the single you released. what motivated you to release that as a single? Did that song mean anything to you?
Absolutely. I used to have a low self-esteem, and because when the original song came out, I think it was around 1994, somewhere back there.
Yeah.
But I used to have a low self-esteem. No one really knew it because, again, I was always bubbly and happy. But when it came to boys, or thinking I was pretty enough, or anything to do with the word enough, I just couldn't grasp the Erin, you are enough part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would listen to that song on repeat and just let it play. And I would just sit there and cry sometimes, but I would sing it, and not like sing it hard. I would just, almost as if I was reciting it to myself, and the words would resonate to me. And so I've always been a person and an artist that I'm not good at singing anything that I don't mean or anything that I can't relate to, because I'm just a pure and honest, not pure, I'm just a real person like that. And you would be able to tell, even via my smile, if I don't like something. So I've kind of learned that I can only sing songs that really mean something to me. So this was one of them. So as I was trying to put my songs together for what cover songs I wanted to do, that was the one. It had to be done, because I knew if it affected me like that, it would help someone else. But my focus was to change. I didn't want to make people dance like the original version did. I wanted people to hear what I heard when they listened to it. And that was the words, the power behind the words. I didn't want them to dance to it and bypass what she was trying to say. So that was my motive in it. So,
well, yeah. I can tell you I can let you rest assured that does make somebody feel good, hearing you sing that song.
I hope so. I really do, because that song really means a lot to me. I even still play it today when I need to hear it, and I still do. Mm-hmm.
That's great. It's a great song.
It's on repeat. Yep. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Desiree.
Thanks, Desiree. Thank you, Erin. So you've got a regular gig there. You live in California.
Yes, I do.
And you've got a regular gig there at a place called
Spaghettini.
I was gonna mispronounce it. I'm glad you said it.
No, I know, because I did that because everybody they'd be like spaghetti-tini.
I was gonna say spaghetti-tinis, spaghettinis. So
spaghetti. You ain't gotta make it fancy, Bernie. Spaghetti.
I'll say it with my teeth closed like this. Spaghettini. It sounds like we're on tour again. Doesn't it? Joking around. You have a regular gig then. You have a couple coming up in May and June.
I do. Actually, they've reached out to me to do the entire year now. So I'll be there at least once per month for the rest of the year. Every second Friday of the month, I'll be there. Which to me is really cool, because I don't know if you looked up Spaghettini, but it's like this legendary place here in California. And when I first moved here, I went to go see someone who was playing there. And to myself, I was like, I want to play here one day. I just got to sing here. And it's because I know that they don't let just anybody in there to play and sing. Two, as I mentioned, it's legendary. So some of the greatest of the greats have all played there at some point in time, or sat in there, or had a concert there one night, but only the greats of the greats. And I just knew I wanted to play there. So for me to now say, yay, I have somewhat of a residency there for the rest of the year, especially given last year, 2020.
Yeah.
I am beyond excited. I am thankful, and I feel really blessed and lucky. So, yeah, I'll be there every second Friday for the rest of the year.
And that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And October 10th, you are going to be performing at the Newport Jazz Festival. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Man, okay, so last year, back to this pandemic question, last year possibly would have been a breakout year for me. I was booked for as an artist, I was booked for so many festivals. Well, not so many, but record breaking for me. I was for like maybe 5 of them. But they were like big stages with big people and, with some other amazing headlining artists who I would have been grateful to be attached to on the same flyer, However, COVID came and wiped all of that out. So for them the Newport Beach Jazz Festival was definitely one of them. So I'm happy that the world's opening back up, and I'm even more happy that they reached back out to me because they have some different artists on there this year. But I'm glad I'm on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I always tell people, keep the party going, man. Just keep on dancing to your own song. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just dancing to my own song. Let's go. What's next? Yep. And I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Erin,
I get this Tower of Power.
Yeah,
really?
I was going to say Anthony Hamilton.
Hathaway. She's a Hathaway. I mean, she's a gem in her own right.
Yeah.
Just saying. But and then Anthony Hamilton, Sheila E. Like it's a good stage. I'm like I said, amongst some royalty there.
Yeah, you are. We're there amongst royalty too. Don't sell yourself short.
Thank you, Bernie. Oh. You see, soften me up real quick. Oh.
Well, Erin, I only have a couple more questions for you. I do want to thank you for taking the time to do this. It's really good to talk to you again.
I know, to hear your voice and not just see you online somewhere.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But the podcast is called Is Breakfast Included? So if breakfast was included, Erin, what would you have?
Ooh, a mimosa. Priorities. First things first. But more champagne than orange juice. Mimosa. And some eggs cooked over easy with some real bacon. I want under the thin bacon. I like the pig. Give me the pork so if it offends anybody. And I need you to almost burn it. Okay? So... And I'm good. Some eggs, bacon. Oh, and coffee. We want some coffee. Yeah. I don't know if you want to give me coffee, Bernie. I can talk. I can go. I'm a little energizer bunny. But give me some coffee, my mimosa, some eggs and bacon. These days, eggs and bacon, because, I'm getting on up there. I can't eat all the stuff I used to.
That's like my breakfast minus the mimosa. That's basically my breakfast.
Yeah. I hope breakfast is included. I'm going to say yes.
You know what? Next time I see you, hopefully we can do this at a breakfast spot.
I'm so with it. Let's make it happen. Soon as they make it happen, we going to make it happen.
That's right. Where can people find you, your social media?
Everything is Erin Stevenson Music. Even if just go to my website, erinstevensonmusic.com. And all of my links, all the music, photos, my bio, everything's there. Some photos of me and the boys. It's all there. But if you just get lost and just want to go to one spot, erinstevensonmusic.com. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Erin Stevenson Music. Real simple. Real simple.
Well, I will not take up any more of your time. I just want to say this. You and I, we toured together on, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Duran Duran.
Yes!
But
once again, only a couple of people know him. Just a couple of people.
I know. They might break big. They got a few good songs. Anyway.
I think so. The band's okay.
Yeah.
No.
I just, I want to say this. When you came into the fold, you and I hit it off. You were from Houston. I was from right up the road in Corsicana. I made that known immediately.
Yeah.
And there are times, I'm going to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say this and people are going to hear it. There are times when I'm on the road, I get a little down. I get a little, I'm not going to say homesick, but I get down on myself. And I wanted to tell you that anytime we did a show when we were out and I felt like that, as soon as I saw you walk into the stage or you came over and gave me that look while you're singing on stage, you made me feel at home. So I just want to thank you. And when I started, when I had the idea to do this podcast, you were on a very short list of people for me to talk to because, I really do admire you. I love you, man. We did time together.
Bernie! Okay, Okay, listen. Okay, now it's my turn. You can't just do that to me, okay?
Bye.
And that's it, folks. Thank you. Good night. No, you can't. No, no, no. So I have to say my part too. And for anyone who's listening, this is, yes, it's a mushy moment, but take it because it's genuine. Okay. So I have to say the same thing too. You know, you understand it's when you, first of all, and I have to say this, the entire Duran Duran organization, I absolutely love and adore. And no one has treated me anything less than stellar. With that being said, it's nothing like knowing you got somebody who understands your dialect, who understands your, like, where I'm from. You get it if I say something crazy or vice versa. And same thing for you, or your coolness or your niceness, your natural niceness, Birdie. So ditto, same thing I could say for you. When I saw your face, I knew that there was someone who stepped on the same soil that I did. You know what I'm saying? And that there's a level of comfort there. So I have to thank you for that too, for always smiling, for always being cool. Like, always, always. I don't think I've ever seen you not smile or never seen you in a bad mood or just like, where you just say, oh, get away from me. He don't want to be bothered today. I can't say that I've seen that from you ever since I've met you.
That doesn't accomplish anything on the road, does it?
It doesn't. It only makes it worse because you go look at your calendar and see how many more days you got left, and then it just gets worse.
Yeah, you look around, you go, God, I gotta see these motherfuckers every day.
One more day.
I'm joking.
Let me get a drink. No.
Anyway, well, I'm gonna let you go. I want to say thank you again. I appreciate you taking the time today. I know we got off on a little rough start, but we made it through.
Thanks to me. I'm sorry.
No.
I got better though. No.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you again, Erin. And until then, you take care of yourself, okay?
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you again too, bro. I love you so much. Thank you for being you. Thank you for having me on your list. I appreciate you. And I know I'm going to see you again soon. So that's what I'm going to say. See you soon enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, right on. That was Erin Stevenson. Man, isn't she great? She's one of the happiest people I've ever met. She kind of just lights up a room whenever she walks in. Make sure you visit her website at erinstevensonmusic.com. Click on her merch link and buy some merch, buy some music. You want to support an indie artist? That's how you do it. Take care of them the way they take care of you. This week, I'm going to ask you to follow our Instagram at is_breakfast_included. Leave a comment and share the podcast. Thank you. I'm done. Talk to you next week.